What's going on, everyone? You are listening to Bull Central here. Hope you're all doing well. Well, I guess having a good first quarter is some progress compared to the last game when they didn't have a single good quarter. But no, guys, another disappointing game from the Bulls. And again, for me, it's all about effort and energy, not putting their heads down and quitting when things don't go their way or the opposing team goes on a bit of a run. The Bulls just completely fell apart in the third quarter, and really it started in the second quarter. And, they got into a hole so deep that even when they made that great run in the fourth, when they cut the lead to 11 after being down 30, it was just too much at that point. And in a post-game interview with Donovan, I think he summed it up pretty well as it relates to the effort from the players when things don't start going their way. He said, quote, "The bottom line, this is professional basketball, and you got to be able to respond and deal with adversity," end quote. And I do think that's, been the Bulls' biggest issue, even from last season. And I think the likely culprit of that is their young team and just their overall, responses to adversity and challenges. That takes maturity and mental toughness. Now, it is still early in the season, but it's clear there are a lot of things that need to be worked on with this roster. Obviously, defense being the primary one. Better effort in this game than the last, don't get me wrong, but still not enough, especially when the defense just fell off in the second quarter. And then really from the rest of the game. I know Donovan is still experimenting with the roster, given the fact that his rotations have varied. He's obviously having more guys in the rotation than his typical 9 to 10 men roster that he likes to see, or rotation that he likes to see. It was good to see Satoransky, Temple, and Valentine all back in the lineup. Valentine was probably one of the only bright spots in this whole game. 11 points in 13 minutes. He shot 3 for 4 from deep. What was interesting was that Sato and Coby played the same amount of time. They both played 25 minutes, and I have to say, Satoransky looks like the better playmaker out there as the point. He had 9 assists in that amount of time and just controlled the floor better. He had a plus-minus of -1, whereas Coby was -16 for the game. Coby started off the game great. He knocked down 3 threes right off the bat, and then he just kind of tapered off the rest of the game. He also had 4 turnovers. Markkanen had a decent game. He was able to get involved early, 16 points, 9 rebounds, but not the most efficient shooting, 2 for 8 from 3. LaVine, 17 points, shot 6 for 13 from the field, which is decent, but I think from, what we saw from LaVine last season, where he averaged 25 points per game, we kind of expect more from him. I would say I think the thing that is most concerning, that has me most concerned anyway, about LaVine is he doesn't seem to be as engaged as we typically see from him. He does seem a little annoyed, a little frustrated, and it does make you wonder. Well, I guess not really wonder. I'm sure this is likely the case. The guy has been in the league for 7 years now, and he's always been on a losing team. I think he's tired of losing, tired of going through multiple coaches, and he knows he's in his prime, and does he want to waste most of his prime years on a rebuilding team? That's really the question that you kind of have to ask yourself when you're in a position like him. Honestly, if we see more of this trend from the Bulls anyway throughout the year, I wouldn't be shocked to see LaVine request a trade. But hopefully that won't end up being the case. And then, man, Wendell Carter Jr., guys, he is just really, really struggling. Sometimes he doesn't even look like an NBA player on the court. Now, granted, he did have some nice aggressive plays here and there, which I was happy to see, since we didn't really see that from him in the last game. Some of the strong offensive boards, he was putting it back up strong, although he couldn't finish most of the time. He had a couple blocks, but still 9 points, 6 rebounds, 2 for 10 from the field. I don't know, guys, all around, there's just a lot of work that needs to be done. It's not just Wendell Carter Jr. There are more issues across the broader roster, I think, that need to be addressed. I would say really the only bright spots from this game was the effort and hustle in the first quarter on both ends of the floor. The comeback at the end of the game from the second unit, for a while there, it almost looked like the Bulls were going to somehow come back from a 30-point deficit, and then the Pacers brought back their starters, and that obviously changed things. And then probably the only other bright spot, like I mentioned before, was Denzel Valentine. Having a good first game for him, having not played throughout the entire preseason. But again, this was just in limited minutes for him. I know it's still early in the season, and I've said I'm going to reserve judgment and concerns until we're at least 2 to 4 weeks into the season. But by all accounts, from what we've seen thus far, it's going to be a long season. And my hope is that, the coaching staff and the front office, they start making adjustments early on if they start to notice this trend continuing, because it will impact any chances we have in free agency next summer the longer we wait. Anyways, that's all I've got for you guys today. Another disappointing game. Really hope the Bulls can turn it around tomorrow when they play the Warriors, who have been struggling as well. Let me know what you guys think. Any other things from the game that stood out to you that I didn't mention? Let me know in the comments. I'll be back with another video tomorrow. As always, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan, and of course, also subscribe if you want to be included in the giveaway. I'm hosting a giveaway for a $50 gift card to the NBAstore.com. All you have to do is subscribe to be entered, and I will catch you guys in the next one.